Hi everyone, just a small suggestion. Please selectively mute yourself when you're not speaking so that we don't catch the background noise. Yeah? Thank
Hey,
you.
Mr. Garde's thing frame is not coming correctly.
So he's using a mobile, Shraddha. So, sir, Ashish, sir, what we can do is we can probably place a book or something so that we get the elevation right,
Yeah, just a moment.
like how we guided you in Zoom. Yeah.
Sorry for the delay. Sorry, this was supposed to be like in a round table format so that we discuss about incubation, what's good, what can be better, and all that. And just to give a set of context, oh, we are already live, which is okay. We are live, live on social media. Abhiram,
Yeah, Shraddha, we're taking it live now. 1 minute. We're live
you
on
are not.
StreamYard.
No. But will it come from the beginning?
Yeah, Shraddha, it'll come from the beginning.
No. You just started from now, no?
Just now, sir, 30 seconds back, we just captured. Once when we started speaking about Ashish, sir, the elevation, that's when we just started.
So it's not started yet, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, but it will go from there. So it's
yeah,
like, okay, it has to be very careful.
yeah. Shraddha, I think we're live now. We can take it from here.
Thank you. Thanks, Abhiram. Thank you so much to all of you for joining today. This is a round table of Bharat Ke incubators and incubators who are doing very good job in supporting entrepreneurs from Bharat, from India. Uh, and I would love for you to first, before we get into the discussion, if you could introduce your incubator and what you are doing and how many startups you are supporting. So, Ronald, if we can start with you.
Hi, Shraddha. So I'm Ronald Fernandez, CEO of AIC R&T. We started operation in 2018 as a Niti Aayog supported incubation center.
So, Ronald, you'll
Currently,
also have to mention where are you located and based.
yeah. So we are located in Raisan district on periphery of Bhopal. So Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh is where we are located. Now we currently incubate around 140 startups and pre-incubation level around 35 startups at the pre-incubation level. So in all around 180 odd startups we are incubating, and these startups are across the country. So when we started operation, the biggest question we had, why would somebody get associated with us? Now we have 170 odd startup with us. So that has been our progress in 5 or 6 years now.
Congratulations. Yes. Danish?
Hi Shraddha, I am Danish Patel. I am the director at KS Patel Center for Entrepreneurship, and we are housed at RK University. It is based in Rajkot city in Gujarat state, and we are functional since 8 years, and currently we are housing about 102 startups, and about 150 student ideas are being nurtured to grow into a startup, and we have graduated about 12 startups till now.
Wow. Yeah, very nice to have you here. Joseph?
Pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, Sotha. My name is Joseph Paul. I'm the General Manager of Incubation Center at IIT Patna. So we started operations in 2016. The same questions were asked to us also, ki why in Patna and what will happen there. So 9 years down the line, we have about 100 startups. Some of them are doing very, very well. And we are also engaged with the Department of Industries, Government of Bihar, and METI, Government of India, um, to promote entrepreneurship among the community as well through various projects.
Yeah, very nice to have you, Joseph, here. And we met just a few days back, and right now I'm also here in Patna. Yeah, okay. Manish?
Hello, Shraddha. This is Manish. I'm the CEO at Deshpande Startups. We are a two-state incubator. We are based out of Hubli and we are also based out of Nizamabad. We are focused exclusively on entrepreneurs who are very excited about the opportunities of Bharat. And over the past 9.5 years that we have existed, we have worked with more than 500 startups.
Wow.
And what's exciting is that Yeah, and what's exciting is that 40% of them have done product commercialization, around 20% of them have done patent filing, and they have raised a lot of capital.
Yeah, very nice. Manish, good to have you here.
Thank you.
Yes, Ashish.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good to have this conversation. I'm Ashish Gardev. I'm the director, Marathwada Accelerator for Growth and Incubation Council, MAGIC, which is India's first regional industry association-led incubation center based at Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, Aurangabad, Maharashtra. We are a sector agnostic incubation center, and we work with state government as well as government of India very closely. We are recognized by Maharashtra State Innovation Society. We are partner incubator for edtech. We are also working with Ministry of MSME. We are also working with Ministry of Electronics for Genesis initiative. We are also part of Startup India Seed Fund. Right now, we are incubating 147 startups in 15 different domain, and these 147 startups are at various stages. We have startups connected from around 22 different states in India, virtually also for mentoring. There is a lot which I can tell, but I'm sure we have paucity of time.
Thank you so much. So to all of us, this is, see, between us, this is so encouraging, and we've got you as Bharat Ke incubators and people and leaders leading the incubators, because we always talk to startups and entrepreneurs, but there are people behind who put in so much of effort, selfless service, and that commitment to build this incubation and support the startups. And more so, like, let's not deny the fact that it is not as easy as it would be in a Bombay, Delhi, and Bangalore. And when it comes to incubators, we always hear, we all know, I don't want to mention and single out, but we always hear about a few incubators from the top cities who have done phenomenal work, and everyone looks at that. And today this conversation is to demystify कि बहुत अच्छे incubators बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं, और बहुत कठिनाइयों में, क्योंकि it's not easy to do something out of Rajkot or somewhere close to Bhopal or in Hubli and Nizamabad and in Patna or in Aurangabad, and support so much of so many startups. And between us, we also have all of you, I can count from the numbers that you've said, close to 1,500 startups that all of you are supporting. And with this, now I'll open the house to understand from you two things. What do you think is going good when it comes to incubation for startups in Bharat, in the towns which are not the top towns of the country? And what do you think are some of the challenges? So with that, let's start.
Okay, maybe I'll go first. So what is going good? I would say, these incubation centers have done a great job in terms of, giving a career options to youngsters. So a lot of people are now, and a lot of youngsters are now thinking that career entrepreneurship could be a career option, because this option perhaps they were not exposed to. So what I feel, so a lot of good ideas and ideas which are related to grassroots, which can expand, which can grow, are coming from tier 2 cities, because they are related to grassroots. I mean, they can actually grow. But how to take that idea forward, that exposure, that knowledge is not there with the youngsters. So these incubation centers are providing this exposure to startup, how investment would happen, how you can take your idea forward. So these are things I think incubation center, as I always, incubation center works on 3 levels. Just inspiring youngsters to think about entrepreneurship as a career substitute. They may or may not start. At least we are planting a seed in their mind so that they think this as also as a career option. And incubation center is also doing some capacity building, giving more knowledge to interested people who want to know more about entrepreneurship. And definitely once they are ready, incubation center pitches in and they become incubator of incubation center. So this is what I mean. Entrepreneurship has been brought to tier 2, tier 3, tier 4 cities now, which was not there earlier. That exposure was not there earlier. So this is, I think, is good, which is going on. What could what could happen better is, a lot of limitations are there. So I'm based out of Bhopal, Raisen district we are located in. So entire Madhya Pradesh, there are no AIF registered. So if somebody wants to register for, raise investment, there are no AIF registered in entire Madhya Pradesh. I mean, which is very surprising. Madhya Pradesh is a very big city.
But why, Ronald? Why do you think it's the case? क्योंकि इतने
People
सारे
don't
register हुए हैं।
understand this asset class, I believe. People who can invest HNIs don't understand this, asset class. So they invest in property, they invest in mutual fund, they invest in equity, but they could invest in, which is high risk, high return, asset class. So at least whenever I do sessions with the HNIs, I want to make them aware this is something where you can put in your 5%, 10%, whatever you are investing, just 5%, 10% of that. This could give you a lot of pride also. And if things go well, it could give you a lot of return also. So this is something which is perhaps lacking, and we need to work on this. So resources in terms of mentors, investors is something which we could do better in these kind of cities.
No, Ronald, but this is very surprising now that you are saying that एक भी AIF नहीं है वहाँ पे.
If you go on SEBI's site, select Madhya Pradesh, there is zero figure which is going to come.
No, but that's important to call out and somewhere that we need to figure this out. It's very surprising. Yeah. But okay, one important thing that we are picking in Madhya Pradesh, आप जिस भी district में हैं, आज startup as an option. And startup में कैसे करना है, hand holding and all that, your incubation is providing that support and bringing that wind of change which is required, because let's accept it that in, for most of us coming from small town India and middle class India still do not think of it as a viable option to do startup. So you're making that happen in Madhya Pradesh. Yeah. Danish?
Yeah, the good thing about the innovators coming from tier 2 and 3 cities is that there is originality in their ideas. They are coming up with real life problems which they are facing in rural India, which at times I feel is lacking in bigger cities, because it happens that they have learned about a successful startup in the West and they try to replicate it here in India. But being in a rural location, we are seeing this drastic difference. And a few challenges which we feel is there in the innovators is we have to work really hard on their communication skills. They have very good hands-on skills. They have clarity of thought and idea. But when it comes to presenting it before a panel or certain mentors or experts, there we have to do a lot of efforts in polishing them. And one more area is awareness regarding financials, right? How to structure your company, think about diluting the ownership. So that psychological hurdle is still there when it comes to taking financial decisions.
That will be more true in Gujarat, no? I think Gujaratis don't anyways dilute any equity.
Correct.
चाहे
Yes.
आप rural हो, urban हो, जो भी हो.
Yeah, that's very true. That business acumen and that ownership for your business is really very huge. They don't want to part with any part of the business.
Yeah, but you are seeing, Danish, are you seeing that change that people in different parts of Gujarat, and I'm not talking about again Ahmedabad and Vadodara. Let's keep that out, because Ahmedabad, of course, has a very big incubator also in Ahmedabad and all that. But do you see that change हो रहा है grassroots level पे, people, youngsters are looking at starting up?
Yes. The awareness has already been spread. That is a very good thing. Maybe efforts by the government as well as certain NGOs. So not just youngsters, we are also seeing people in their 50s who are coming up with innovative ideas and they want to start their company. Till now, they were doing business in their village, but it was not organized business. Now they know that if I go as a startup, there is a lot of support out there and I can really work on it in a formal way. So it's really true that youngsters as well as any age people are now more acceptable towards entrepreneurship as a career.
Yeah, and also one question I had, do you see that having an incubation has actually, like, tangibly, how would you say that an incubation has made a difference in this momentum?
So when we look at success of any startup incubated at our incubator, we look at the hiring that they have done and the revenue of minimum 25 lakhs. So the startups who have graduated, say about 12 startups, have hired almost 250 employees, and cumulative turnover of these startups would be in excess of 15 crores. And all of them are coming from the rural background.
Wow, wow, this is very encouraging. और हम सब के लिए, for all of us listening, this is so this is actually change on ground. And last question for you is that, do you see what do you see as challenges for you to grow as an incubation space?
So for us, the biggest challenge that I foresee is attracting more startups from other parts of India. Right. Currently, we are focused in Rajkot, Kutch, and Saurashtra belt. But if we want startups coming from across India, looking at Rajkot and incubating at a center in Rajkot, there is that mental block which the promoters or innovators still have, right? So if we are able to focus on the strength, say Rajkot has a strength of manufacturing, right? So we are trying to work on that strength and overcome this challenge of attracting startups from across India.
And last question, like Ronald had said that in Madhya Pradesh, registered AIF, not even a single. Do you have that also as a challenge, or it's okay in your part of the world?
No, in Gujarat, there are a couple of AIFs, there are private investors, there is a semi government GFL body, GVFL, which is also buying stake in good startups. So that is not a hurdle here in Gujarat.
तो हम लोग सबको तो वहीं आ जाना चाहिए, गुजरात. All startups, all of us should go to Gujarat. So that should not be a challenge because you have the money.
Correct. Yeah, most welcome. We would love to collaborate with incubators who are having this shortfall of finding investors and funds, because there are more investors and fewer startups. That is the scenario here.
Okay, let's have a conversation. This is interesting, but again, very good insight from different parts of Bharat. So thank you. Joseph, would love to understand what's happening in IIT Patna and how do you see things changing in Bihar?
Yeah, when in 2016 we started off with a very niche sector focus as medical electronics in IIT Patna. So it looked like an unsurmountable task for us. I mean, in the initial stages, because we had a significant perception barrier in the community against entrepreneurship. We are predominantly oriented towards government jobs and civil services and things like that. So the initial challenge was to overcome that barrier among the young crowd and promote this. So in the first 3 years, we spent a lot of efforts educating and exposing people to what entrepreneurship can do. So that is what was the biggest challenge that we faced as such. And the other challenges are common to all, tier 2, tier 3 cities, like lack of investors, lack of mentors, lack of connectivity, etc. But one good thing that we had was that Bihar is a large state, and in the eastern part of the country, we have very few facilities that actually provide quality support to incubators. So there were a lot of innovators who were looking forward to such facilities. So when we started off with a proper technical labs and mentorship services, we started talking to the startups. After the initial slump of 1 or 2 years, it really picked up. And then at the right time, state government came into the picture, So we also are supported by state government, initially through Department of IT and then subsequently through Department of Industries. So the state government really scaled up the outreach efforts. Earlier it was we and a couple of other incubators doing it by ourselves. But when state government came into the picture, it really changed it. So we started a couple of community projects. One was called the Zero Lab, which was intended to provide a space for anybody who is working in. So, and we had over a period of 2 years, we had about 3,000 walk-ins, who walked in to, develop their idea into a business plan, which was mind blowing. I mean, we weren't sure, it was an experiment that we were doing. Then the state government really stepped up the efforts to set up, innovation spaces, co-working spaces, and I wouldn't say that it was a long journey for us. It was a collaborated efforts between our center, IIT, and the state government and the central government. So we are fortunate to have good synergies between these three entities, and that really helped.
Yeah, Joseph, it's an important point. What you're saying is that in places like Patna, having the support, like the intention and the support of the government also to bring that change also helps incubation, right? Like incubation centers like what you have in IIT Patna, because it is all said and done a very different place than I would say an IIT
Absolutely,
incubation.
absolutely. Because IIT being an IIT have its own pull, and then there will be applications coming in, etc. But sometimes in environments like Patna and then some of these cities, you can't do it alone. It's too much of a task to do it alone. So we need to create synergies across multi-sectoral incubators, different stakeholders in the system. State government being the most important stakeholder, and also the industry associations, the high net worth individuals who can be tapped as investors and mentors, and even like-minded organizations. You exchange facilities and know-how between the organizations. So we recently started a life sciences innovation program, and we being an engineering institute, we can't run it alone. So we are now creating a network of 5 institutes which are going to take this program forward in collaboration with each other. So they have, we will use their facilities, they'll use our facilities. We will exchange ideas, information. We will even, cross-pollinate teams by bringing people from different institutions together. So that I think is very important for these environments.
Yeah, no, thank you, Joseph. To all of you, I also want to say before I come to Manish and Ashish, is that all of you are also. That's why it's so important to have this series Bharat Ke Incubators, because all of you are also warriors in your own right, doing this in the places that you are doing. Again, I want to call out to everyone listening to this, to that it's not easy, because these are the people, these are the leaders who are driving that change in the states. Because for most of us, even going and staying in small town India becomes a challenge, but just going there, being there, and helping so many startups and incubators, to me, you guys are transformers and people who are transforming the state, the economy, and more importantly, I would say the mindset. Yeah. And with that, Manish, you tell us what's happening in Hubli and Nizamabad, and what do you think are some of the good things and what can be better?
Well, I think India as a whole, the entire tele-density, the adoption of mobile phones, let's say in rural and semi-urban India, 60% of the people have access to at least one phone, right? Internet services, at least 40% of Bharat has access to internet. While that number is far from very impressive, but if you look at our population scale, that is a lot of people having access to phone and internet. I think that has spurred access to services, access to products, access to aspirations, and then entrepreneurs and you on that and building for Bharat. I think that's something that has really worked out well. In a way, culture is second thing. You can have the infrastructure, but then culture of starting up, culture of building is also extremely important. And I think three people that have the most important role in setting up the culture of entrepreneurship is one, let's say the government, second the media, and the third one is early adopters, the role models. And I think all three of them have done an excellent job in India in encouraging the youth, people from the north, south, east, west of India to actually take up the path of entrepreneurship. I mean, this series here itself that you are conducting itself shows on that the right benchmark, the right stories are being told, and that in turn will inspire so many more people in the parts of India to start on their own. That's something I think that's really working for India. And I actually want to pick on what I think Danish said as well, that what's also working is that entrepreneurs of Bharat are looking at the same problems that have always existed in a very different light. And one validation of that is that of, let's say, the 500 startups that we have incubated, you'll be surprised to see that almost 20% of them have filed patent, which means that at least they solved it differently, that is a patentable technology. If they were to use the same model that worked in urban India, first of all, there will be no patent, nor would they have taken the context of Bharat into account. I think that's also working. So the first principle thinking of entrepreneurs solving for Bharat is also working well for India. Of course, dil mange more, you always want more. So what more can happen? I think if India's Bharat per capita income grows faster, they'll be able to spend more, they'll be able to aspire more, and then entrepreneurs can then do the matchmaking. They can bring those services and products and solve the aspirations of Bharat. I think that can really happen. And Bharat, let us not stop at tier 2, tier 3 town. Let's go tier 4, tier 5, truly rural. I think if those people also start building, then this revolution would have, found its pinnacle.
Yeah, Manish, thank you. You are like Bharat ke incubator, the very optimist, and yes, and looking at future, and you guys are helping build that future. So yes, thank you so much. And I agree with you that थोड़ा तो अगर सब consumption economy तो है हमारे देश में. Just to give you guys a sense, I'm here in Patna. I'm just surprised that, and it's a dry state, but I'm surprised here how much people go out and eat, because when I was in Bihar, this was like a luxury, right? Like to go out once in maybe a month or whatever. But now that India has changed, छोटे signal pe, har level pe people are spending and going out, and it's just become a regular phenomena. So yes, the more it increases, the more innovators have ground to do more things. Yes, Ashish sir. Okay, I want to tell everyone that he's also the one who's been nudging me that, oh, you keep talking to all the entrepreneurs and everyone, but you should also give voice to incubators. So I also have to thank him here for telling me, see, I surprised you today by doing this. I hope I've surprised you in a good way by doing this. But tell us, what do you see? Because you are in a remote part of course, industrial, but when it comes to startup and that mindset in a remote part of Maharashtra, what do you see are some of the good things, and what do you think are things that we need to do to make this more big phenomena? I can't hear you. You are on mute.
Thank you, Shraddha, for having all of us here and starting this series for the incubators, which is extremely important, and especially for the incubators from Bharat and places like Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, Aurangabad, and Marathwada region of Maharashtra.
Sambhajinagar, Aurangabad is like that. Is that the whole name of the state of the city?
No. Some of the audience may not be aware that the name of Aurangabad is now changed to Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. So I am ensuring that those who are aware, they are taking cognizance that the name is changed, and those who are not aware, they get to know that the name is now changed.
Okay.
So
the
point. The point which I was trying to make is basically interior Maharashtra or interior tier 2, tier 3 or tier 4 cities of the country. Now, after the launch of Startup India, the spirit of entrepreneurship amongst the students right up to school level is now percolating with initiatives like Atal Tinkering Lab and other initiatives of state government. The spirit of entrepreneurship is definitely reaching out to masses, and all are like we have got ample talent in the country, and with proper structured framework of incubation centers and tinkering labs, these talented youths can definitely work on various innovations which they aspire for. And that's how we are seeing the spur in the number of startups which are originating from tier 2, tier 3 or tier 4 cities. Whatever number of startups that we have in India, more than 50% of these startups are from rural India, and we have build that ecosystem over the years, even in the interior parts of the country, and we are supporting these startups. We are supporting grassroots innovators in a big way. We have just now initiated the launch of a very unique incubation center in a government ITI, and that too in a city or town called Jalna, which is near to Aurangabad. So basically, it's not only the Institute of National Eminence where we have innovators at grassroots level, right at the ITI level also, and we are trying to cater to such innovators in remote areas also. Incidentally, one of such innovator recently got opportunity to interact with Bill Gates also, where Gates Foundation had supported them. So we have talent, we have the infrastructure now getting ready in interior parts also, and we have passionate teams promoting innovation, incubation at grassroots also. So in days to come, the number of startups at grassroots level also will go up as we focus on deep tech also. So the whole band of startups, whether they are grassroots or deep tech, we will see a big surge in that number in days to come, and we are supporting all categories of startups irrespective of their location, domain, and the stage of their idea.
But what do you think are some of the challenges? You talked about Jalna and in Aurangabad. What do you think still remains a challenge? Because you talked about that. Yes, of course, there is a momentum and there is so much of optimism and things are happening. But what do you think will be required to do? We need to require, we all, as in I'm saying, as Bharat K incubators and as India, we need to do to see this grow more.
Yeah, since our incubation center is promoted by the Regional Industry Association, Chamber of Marathwada Industries and Agriculture, and we work extensively with various categories of academic institutions, whether they are ITI, Polytechnic, Engineering College, Arts, Science, or even pharmacy. So typically in our country, because of the education system in the past, our students are conditioned to think of jobs and employment. So we need to bring in that big shift from job to entrepreneurship. So most of our initiatives are targeted at like transforming the mindset of students, where they shift their focus from package to profit. And to do that, we need to deal with parents of such young innovators also, because what we find is unless and until they have strong support from their families, their innovation journey or their entrepreneur journey will not end with logical conclusion. So we also deal with faculties, we also deal with the parents and other uh, their friends of the innovators, so that the peer pressure also works in terms of boosting the confidence of the innovators.
Yeah, so but I have a question to all of you. Okay, two. I know I'm taking a lot of time, but two questions. One is that, and I spoke to someone off the record, and he said that, and please correct me if I'm wrong, because he said that, we are incubation center and sometimes aligned to or working within a university framework, and the director and the deans of the university, and they are talking about writing a gate exam and cracking that and getting a job and going for higher studies, doing more. So they talk one language, who are the top management in a university or in colleges. And here, as incubation center in college, we are talking about being an innovator, starting up, and somewhere our voice gets a little diminished because of that. What do you have to say about this? Do you think first well, of course this was his experience, but what do you think can be done to, as what Ashish said, is to change that cultural mindset also?
So maybe I'll start. So we have been lucky. I mean, in that sense, we are a part of a private university. So in a way, technically, we are not reporting to the VCs and the university officials as such. I mean, they are parent organizations of ours, but we directly report to the management, and the management understand this domain. So we have been a little lucky in that sense. My chairman's son, he was already investing in startups through
Okay.
various angel investment companies based out of Mumbai's and Delhi's of the world. So he understood this domain. So we have been a little lucky in this sense. Complete freedom has been given to us, and I think success of any incubation center, infrastructure and all is not important. Even I would say location is a little bit of hurdle, but it's not that important. Team is the most important thing in an incubation center. So we have got a proper team, is independent team directly reporting to management. We have complete freedom to operate. So perhaps whatever little success we have got over a period of time, this is because of the structure of the entire organization, the way we have been working, and the management understanding this domain. So that has
Yeah, so
helped
what
us.
you are saying, Ronald, is that there is alignment. Everyone believes, understands, and the purpose is clear, that we need to have more entrepreneurs and startups, and it is as equal, if not more, uh, option for the future. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyone else wants to comment on
Yeah,
this?
so I would like to share a practice which has helped us at RK University. So when the student is in the second year, we give them the option of entrepreneurship track, higher studies, or job. So the student starts thinking about the future prospect in these three broad areas, and they will take elective subjects, workshops based on the choice. So if a student has selected entrepreneurship track, he will be opting for subjects relevant to that, and even their faculties are aware that this mass of students are interested in entrepreneurship. So that alignment in offering and mindset of the stakeholders involved in the whole ecosystem is very clear what is the student expecting. So initially it was slightly difficult to implement because decision making in the students was slightly difficult during the whole schooling system. There are very few instances where they have to make critical decisions. So that exercise took us some time, but now it is helping us in a very big way, where student is actually working for 2 3 years in the area which he is looking at as a prospect for their career.
Yeah, it's very, very important and very interesting insight. Now, but Nanish, I have a question, is that as a student in the second year, I've come from a school, I've come from a middle class background, and I have got into an engineering college, I need to get a job. How will I know that entrepreneurship as an option is also very lucrative and interesting? How do they get to understand that?
Yeah, so initially, if they are not very sure about the track, we allow them in certain workshops, in certain
Okay.
events, interacting with their seniors who are into that, because that mentoring from seniors also is very important, because a lot
Yeah.
of senior students would be in a similar dilemma. So they would be able to guide them and they would believe them more than the faculty or the director at incubator.
Okay, okay. Yes, yes. Sorry, I yes, okay. Now,
I
one
have to
question.
say something here, Shraddha. I was just thinking, I graduated possibly the last in this entire group. So maybe I can bring a student perspective. So, I think students, when they come to academic institutions, they come from all herds and folds. Now, not all of them want to be entrepreneurs, nor should we be aiming to make all of them entrepreneur themselves. And since institutions are such complex and diverse group of people, I think having strong voices is important. And at times they will get confusing, but so be it. I think if there is autonomy, if there is strength in that voice, that's good enough. It's so difficult to be an entrepreneur, and we also owe it to the wannabe entrepreneurs to be very fair and honest to them, what it really takes to be successful, and not paint very optimistic picture, because couple of years down the line they will actually say, okay, who are my role models, who did I hear from that entrepreneurs is so glossy and beautiful. So we owe it to them to be very fair and honest.
Yeah. Both amazing, different perspective. Because somewhere, from my lens, I'm just thinking that people should be aware that it is an option. But what you are also saying, Manish, is that they should also know that this is an option, but it's not an easy option also. Yeah.
Yeah,
Last
we have been
question.
very fortunate. Yeah, we have been very fortunate to have full alignment from the institute. Our director, Professor T.N. Singh, has been all out support for startup related activities. So he personally takes out time for our events and product launches and investor meets and all that, which really motivates the entire community, because the leaders will definitely influence the behavior of
Yeah.
everybody else in the system. And some of the students, one point that Mr. Danish was touching upon, the students got motivated primarily through some of their seniors. Our first startup was a student of IIT Patna, became a national award winner in 2021, which has been a fantastic thing for us, because that eased out her load of conveying successes
Yeah.
to other students. So they became
Yeah.
the poster boys for some of our things. So that really helped.
One question I have for all of you is that last two, and I know, Danish, you have to leave also, and I've overstretched you. So last two questions. One is that, do you see women and girls, and especially in the context of where you are coming and starting up, and is there still some hurdle, something more that needs to be done?
Yeah, so currently what we are seeing is that the ratio of women entrepreneurs and innovators is quite less when we look at rural India and tier 2 and 3 cities. But because of the efforts in bringing awareness, now since the last couple of years, we are seeing much more improved ratio, and there are women who are actually coming up with ideas and registering their startups, which maybe 3 years back was very rare at our place. But now, since the last couple of years, it is improved quite well.
Yeah, I was
So
there
in
in
our
Pune.
case also,
Go ahead,
sorry.
Ronald.
Yeah,
No,
so in our case also, I mean, same experience. Female entrepreneurs are a little less in numbers as compared to male entrepreneurs, but we have been making focus of it. I mean, currently, just before this call, we were actually part of a one cohort we have specifically launched for female entrepreneurs at ideation level. Around 41 such female entrepreneurs or aspiring to be entrepreneurs are part of this cohort, where they have some idea, they want to see whether that idea can be commercialized or not. So that's the ideation cohort we do. We call it She Evolution program. So we are making effort to bring female entrepreneurs to take up this entrepreneurship as a career journey. But numbers are comparatively less than male entrepreneurs. Yeah.
I was at Venture Center Pune day before yesterday, and what was very sort of surprising was 70% of the entire staff that was running the incubation center was all female. Now, those examples exist. Uh, but in general, I agree that number of women entrepreneurs or startups that are led by women founders or have at least majority shareholder holding in the company, those are limited. But if we expand the definition of entrepreneurship and also add micro entrepreneurs, then I think we get a far better picture realistically, not just tech startups, but micro entrepreneurship as well. A lot of small enterprises, because the risk appetite is little, the working capital is little, people don't put their money on young female founders from a small town. I think they have figured out their own way to be micro entrepreneurs, build their way through, and in time, they'll actually have appetite, the know-how of the business to build something very big. Goes on, Shraddha, and to all of us that role models actually play a very pivotal role. If you have more number of role models, lot many more women will come out. And I think we have started to see with, let's say, Neetu from Animal, Shraddha, you yourself from Media Tech, and so on and so forth. When people see all of you, that's when they really get inspired. Relatable role models will play a very important role. And encouraging signs are there, especially when I look at the micro entrepreneurship world.
Yeah. And last question, Joseph, I'm not going to ask you that question because yes.
Shraddha, prior to that, I would like to add, like in our incubation center, around 10% women entrepreneurs are there, and considering government policies at state level and at national level, there is sharp focus on inclusivity and gender like equality. So because of that, many women entrepreneurs are considering getting into startups, and if they are not founders, they are at least co-founders for sure. And in the teams where the employees number of women employees is also significant. And as he mentioned, definitely organizations like self-help groups or farmer produce organizations, FPOs, they also have substantial number of women who are driving these community initiatives.
Okay. Yeah. So last, and Danish, you can begin this because you have to leave and we have held you a lot. Last question to all of you. All of you are working with startups. All of you are heads of incubation. And you are a Bharat Ke Incubators and the leaders of Bharat Ke Incubators. Personally, as what drives you? What keeps you excited? What drives you? What makes you do what you are doing? And if you all can quickly answer that, and with that we'll end. Yes, Danish.
Yeah, so for me in Gujarat, entrepreneurship is in the blood of most of the Gujaratis. So for me, it was about transforming that passion into a well organized and systematic business. Because usually, what happens in Gujarat, people get into business and aspire for certain level of growth. Beyond that, they are not that much aspirational. So what I have been observing is it as an incubator, when we are able to show them that bigger picture, interact with people who have reached certain levels, that aspirational level becomes monumental. And that is the
Of
biggest
course.
satisfaction that I am seeing, that one of the startups who has graduated has reached a turnover of more than 60 crores. And
Wow.
those two youngsters would have never imagined to reach that level. So that brings in a lot of satisfaction and motivation for us as well.
या दानिश कह रहे हैं दिशा दिखाना और वो बड़ा सपना और बड़ा स्केल दिखाना। मगर मैं कह रही थी जब आप ये कह रहे थे कि आप तो हैं स्टेट ऑफ अदानी एंड अंबानी स्केल। But thank you so much. So thank you for the purpose with which you are driving, and yes, please you have to leave, so thanks a lot for joining today.
Thank you, it was a wonderful experience.
Thank you. Yes, and to rest of you, what's the purpose, what's the drive, what's the josh?
Okay, so I'll go here. Sorry. So I've done 4 startups in the past. Somehow, due to various reasons, it has not gone. A few of them actually got to a very good level and then kind of fizzled out. So I'm living my dream through these youngsters, supporting the startup. So as I always say, perhaps I can't say what to do, but definitely I can say what not to do, because I've experienced closing 4 ventures. So I'm living my dreams on this thing, and God knows, any day I perhaps would restart again. So that's the motivation which I've got.
Wow.
Can I go next, Shraddha?
Yes,
Because I have to also catch up for
yes,
next
yes, yes.
meeting. Yeah,
Yeah.
so basically, engaging with youth, like the future of India, they contributing to Vikasit Bharat. The passion is important, and the satisfaction that you derive out of interacting with such innovative individuals, and like seeing the happiness and joy when they actually reach the revenue stage, it is immense. Like yesterday only, we had Guru Purnima, and like when you interact with 100 or 147 startups, and they relate to you as their mentor or sort of guru, that energy or that satisfaction is immense.
Yeah, uncomparable. Can't be compared. Some things money can't buy. And that, yes, yes. Thank you so much. And I know how you like mentoring and helping people. So, yes, I understand. Thank you. Yes, Joseph and Manish.
Yeah, I mean, I always wanted to be part of a socially relevant profession. So, I mean, you have pure corporate money oriented work, but then there are things that will impact the society in a larger way. And when I was considering a shift from my corporate life to this, one of my mentors once told me that you should be looking at something which is a multiplier. And then that is the time when I started seriously considering entrepreneurship, particularly the startup sector, as a potential area, because it truly is a force multiplier, because it can
Yeah.
rapidly create jobs, rapidly increase wealth, rapidly bring in solutions. So it's fantastic in that way. It can really impact not only the community, the overall well-being of the country. So that is a real motivation.
Yeah, Joseph, you look also like very helpful, very nice. Yeah. Yes, Manish, the
Yes,
youngest among us all, tell us what got you to do this.
for me, I think it's just a belief in the fact that the growth of India will come from Bharat. The next engine of growth will come from Bharat. I come from a small town, Pipiganj in district Gorakhpur. Growing
Oh,
up, yeah, growing up, I there were hardly any roads. There was this broken bridge that I would take to go to school. And now when I go back in the same place, I can call Bharat. You have all sorts of all sorts of facilities. People are aspiring more. They have better aspirations for education, healthcare, better services, and better future. And that's a living testimony for me that if that place is growing, so is rest of India as well. And that's the motivation. And I think I am drawn further more into that vision, into that belief, because of the kind of partners I have in Desh, Raju Reddy, and Farindra Sama. They all see the same vision. We work together, and that gets get compounded. That's where I get my motivation from.
wow. Wow. What a good note to end on. Future is in Bharat, or future hai Bharat mein. And thank you for to all of you for being our Bharat Ke incubators and the work that you do. Thanks a lot. And what a good thing, no? One day after Guru Purnima, we have all of you to do this session. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Shraddha. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. Thanks, Ronald.
Yeah,
Joseph.
yeah,
Thank
Thanks,
you.
thank you.
Manish. Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bye bye. How do you leave? Like, leave?